दुआ कर लें।
अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदर रसूलुल्लाह अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदर रसूलुल्लाह हय्या अलस सलाह हय्या अलस सलाह हय्या अलल फलाह हय्या अलल फलाह अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह। अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह वहदहु ला शरीका लहु व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूलुहु अम्मा बादु फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अर्रहमानिर रहीम मालिकि यौमिद्दीन इय्याका المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين قل أمر ربي بالقسط وأقيموا وجوهكم عند كل مسجد وادعوه مخلصين له الدين كما بدأكم تعودون يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين आयत का तर्जुमा है तू कह दे कि मेरे रब ने इंसाफ का हुक्म दिया है.
The translation of these verses is, say, my Lord has enjoined justice, and fix your attention aright at every time and place of worship, and call upon Him, making yourselves sincere towards Him in religion. As He brought you into being, so shall you return. Then Allah the Almighty states, O children of Adam, look to your adornment at every time and place of worship, and eat and drink, but exceed not the bounds. Surely He does not love those who exceed the bounds. Allah the Almighty, through His grace and His blessings, has enabled the Ahmadis of Brisbane, or it can be said the Ahmadis of Australia, to build a purpose-built mosque in this city. Therefore, however much we express gratitude for this favor of Allah the Almighty, it would be insufficient. Approximately 15 years ago, you purchased this site. You built a mission house and a hall upon it. You would offer your prayers within it. Then, when I came here for the first time in 2006, despite these buildings being present, I did not feel that the mosque was filled with flourishing activity that now is seen through the purpose-built mosque being made. It is a favor of Allah the Almighty upon the Jamaat that He has established such a relationship and bond between the Jamaat and Khilafat, the like of which is not seen anywhere else in the world. This, in actuality, is the outcome of that teaching and that covenant of allegiance which the promised Messiah, on whom be peace, inculcated his Jamaat or his community to abide by. This relationship of love, of brotherhood, and of sincerity and devotion has been mentioned by the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, on whom be peace, in his conditions of bay'at, of allegiance. And this very relationship of love, brotherhood, and devotion then continues further on with the ongoing and established institution of Khilafat-e-Ahmadiyyat. The construction of the mosque alongside the point that we stand in need of mosques, and as the Jamaat continues to grow, inshallah mosques will be continued to be built. And mosques are being constructed. Yet here, when I refer to Khilafat, it was for the reason that the construction of mosques is happening in the world also as a result of hearkening to the call of the Khalifa. Generally, everywhere in the world, I am drawing the attentions of the Jamaats to construct mosques, for they are the means of tabligh, of preaching.
ये बात सच भी साबित हो रही है।
In reality, this point is actually proving to be true.
जब मैंने जैसा कि मैंने कहा 2006 में आया था,
As I stated, here also when I came in 2006, at the time I stated that the prayer center in its own right is fine.
यहाँ बकायदा
However, I said that here a proper mosque in the shape of a mosque should be constructed.
लबैक कहा और अल्लाह
So the Jamaat hearkened to this call, and with the grace of the Almighty Allah, they have constructed a mosque.
लोगों को मस्जिद की तामीर के
In connection to the construction of your mosque, the various hindrances and obstacles and phases that you had to surpass,
अंदाजा हो गया होगा
through this, you would have realized yourself how different the concept of a mosque is in the minds of the local people.
कायम था। लोग नमाज़ें
Here, a prayer center was already established. People would come here to offer their prayers. The other Jamaat activities would also have been taking place here.
मंजूरी के लिए दिया गया।
Yet when the proposals were submitted for approval for the plan of building a mosque, then opposition was faced from the neighbors.
आखिर अल्लाह ताला ने फजल फरमाया और
Ultimately, Allah the Almighty bestowed His grace and blessings, and in accordance with the reports that I have received, after efforts and endeavours of 8 to 9 months, the Council gave permission and approval.
क्वींसलैंड में
As such, in this state of Queensland, the first proper and purpose-built mosque began its construction. This started after December 2012.
अल्लाह ताला के फजल से ये खूबसूरत मस्जिद
Today, with the grace of the Almighty Allah, you have this beautiful mosque.
पर और पहली इमारतों की दुरुस्ती वगैरह पर
According to the facts and figures that have been presented before me, $4.5 million have been spent on the construction of the mosque and the renovation of the existing buildings and structures.
बोलकर कुर्बानियां दी।
The members of the Jamaat have given sacrifices with open hearts.
$1,25,000 दिए।
I have been told that one person gave $125,000, whilst another person gave $100,000. Each and every person, in accordance with his capacities, or perhaps even beyond their capacities, gave sacrifices.
जैसा कि जमात अहमदिया की ख्वातीन की रवायत है,
The woman, as is the tradition of the women of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, here also they presented their jewelry towards the mosque.
वालों को बेइंतहा दे, इनके अमवालों
May Allah the Almighty give immensely to all those who have made these sacrifices, and may He infuse blessings in their persons and also in their wealth.
कुर्बानी ये मोहब्बत और इखलास की रूह
However, we should always remember that this spirit of love, sincerity and devotion and these examples of obedience do not emanate from an Ahmadi as a fleeting emotion or temporary passion, and nor should this be the case. Rather, these are forever continuing examples and permanent and constant passions, and this should be the case. Further, these are not just sentiments and feelings which remain limited to oneself. In fact, they are constantly and permanently transferred to his progeny and to his children. This is the spirit and should be the spirit of a true Ahmadi.
उसी वक्त जारी रह सकते हैं जब हम खुदा ताला
These sentiments and passions can remain established only in the case when we give attention to the commands of Allah,
सच्चा ताल्लुक पैदा करने वाले हों,
when we form a true connection with our Lord,
करने वाले हों।
when we fulfill the rights of the mosque,
सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम
when we fulfill the due of coming under the pledge of allegiance of the true servant of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.
इस मस्जिद का हक अदा करने वाले
Therefore, we can become at that point those who fulfill the right of these mosques,
ख्याल रखें
when we are mindful of all these points and keep them before us in view at all times.
ताला के जो अहकामात हैं उनमें से बाज़ हुक्मों को
So thus, today, I shall present some of the commandments amongst the commandments of God.
अदा करती चली जाने वाली बनी रहें।
This is so that our children and progeny can continuously fulfill the rights of these commandments. The verses that I recited at the outset are verses 30 and 32 of Surah Al-Araf, and they relate to the mosques. In these verses, Allah the Almighty has set down some expectations of the moments of the believers. In fact, the believers have been counseled that those who are associated to a mosque and those who are true worshippers, if they consider and are mindful of these points, then they will receive the loving glances of Allah the Almighty. The first point is that Allah the Almighty has enjoined justice. And justice is such a quality which is the basic identity of a society. From the level of the home to the level of international matters and affairs, the establishment of justice is of vital importance. This is that very aspect which, when established, can enable peace to be formed at every level of the society.
और यही चीज है जिसका हक अदा न करने की सूरत में
It is this very quality which, if in the case of not being discharged, can and does create disorder and corruption in the world. And this justice is not only in social matters and with fellow human beings. In fact, to fulfill the rights of the commands of Allah the Almighty also demands for the requirements of justice to be fulfilled. To fulfill the rights of worship in the manner in which it has been enjoined, that is, to be just with worship. The benefit of acting just in this matter is derived by the person who is acting justly or the worshipper himself. So thus every true mu'min, every true believer should give heed towards the fulfillment of the rights of worship. This right will be fulfilled at that point when all of you safeguard and protect your 5 daily prayers. It is when you give attention towards the establishment of your prayers. It is when alongside these prayers you bring about pious transformations and reformations within you. It is when alongside your prayers you also make an effort to fulfill the right of the creation of God and of mankind. In terms of the rights of creation, there is, for example, the commandment given to a husband that fulfill the rights of your wife. Take care of her needs. Treat her in a kind and affectionate manner. Take care of her relatives. Treat your wife's parents, her brothers and sisters and other relatives with respect and regard. Never look covetously upon the wealth and income of your wife. Fulfill the rights of your children. Give attention towards their education and moral upbringing. Demonstrate your own examples so that they can come to understand the importance of religion and can remain attached to it. Always remember that generally boys will come to respect the faith, especially those who are 14 and 15 years old, when they observe that their fathers are also respecting and regarding their religion and are safeguarding their worship, are regular in their prayers and are regular in the recitation of the Holy Quran. I have generally observed that mothers are more concerned for the moral upbringing of the children, or at least they certainly mention this before me and request me for prayers. In this same way, every woman, every wife needs to act with justice to fulfill their responsibilities. Fulfill the rights of your home. The first responsibility of a woman is in the home. She must take care of it. understand your responsibilities. Alongside respecting your husband, also honor and regard his relatives. Carry out and supervise the moral training of your children. In this environment and atmosphere in particular, the tarbiyat and the moral upbringing of the children should be a matter of great concern for the parents. There is a need for attention in this regard. This religious training is the duty of both the mother and the father. There is a need to make the children believe that they are Ahmadi Muslims. For this, first of all, the parents would have to prove themselves as Ahmadi Muslims. There is a need to make the children believe what their responsibilities are. First of all, the parents would have to understand their own responsibilities. They would have to inform the children that there should be a distinction between you and others. When the tarbiyat, the moral training of the children, is approached in this manner, it is only then that the children will remain attached to the religion. It is this very aspect which enables one to justly fulfill the rights of the children. If the parents do not demonstrate their own practical example and do not give heed towards the training and moral upbringing of the children, then they will not be acting justly. Then there are the general relationships in the society. Here also, every man and woman who counts himself or herself amongst the mu'mineen, amongst the believers, or who desires to include themselves within this, it is their duty and obligation that they strive to fulfill one another's rights. There are business affairs or there are matters of any type. It is necessary to fulfill the requirements of equity and justice in all such matters. Allah the Almighty has made the community of believers as one body. So the standard of the one body can at that point be established when one realizes and feels others' difficulties and sufferings and gives attention towards fulfilling their rights, and when the requirements of justice are fulfilled. Just as when any part of the body feels pain, the entire body feels pain. In exactly the same manner, we should realize and feel the pain of others. This is what the promised Messiah has stated, that feel and realize the pain and suffering of others. Further, when we inform the world how peace can be established, or we say to them that peace should be established in this manner, and we explain to them what Islam says in this regard, when the people of the world hear what we have to say, they are deeply impressed. So we will also have to demonstrate the virtuous examples in this regard. We would have to explain that these are not teachings of an ancient time. In fact, this is also the current practice of true believers. Day before yesterday, it was the inaugural ceremony of the mosque. It was held with the non-Ahmadi, local Ahmadi Australians. So what I said revolved around the following point, that if there is not justice in the fulfillment of the rights of other people, and one does not realize this acutely, then his worship would be worthless and useless. But if this right is being fulfilled, then every single act of that person who fulfills the rights of others becomes an act of worship. And the worship which submits one to Allah the Almighty, its beauty is further enhanced. So therefore, those Muslims in whose view prayers hold great importance, worships are of vital significance, he would always also remain in the search of ensuring that he deals with all peoples, fulfilling all the requirements of justice.
और जानता है
and an Ahmadi can best understand this point of wisdom.
क्योंकि उसने ज़माने के इमाम
This is because he has come to believe and accept in the Imam of the time. He has come under the allegiance of the Imam of the time.
अल्लाह ताला के फजलों को समेट सके,
This is so that he can accumulate the blessings and grace of God.
उसका हक अदा कर सके,
And this is so that he can fulfill the right of the worship of God.
पहचान सके.
This is so that he can recognize the purpose of his creation.
एक जगह फरमाते हैं कि नौ
The promised Messiah alayhi salam has stated in one place that compassion and sympathy and love for mankind is a great form of worship.
जबरदस्त जरिया है
In order to obtain the pleasure of Allah the Almighty, this is an immense means. So therefore, this is that beautiful teaching, where on the one hand, it fulfills the requirements of justice. There also, it also brings about nearness to God.
मखलूक के हुकूक अदा करने के साथ
When a person, alongside fulfilling the rights of God's creation, he also, in order to dedicatedly fulfill the rights of Allah the Almighty, goes to the mosque, then he also comes into the loving lap of the Lord.
भी हासिल होता है.
Then he also obtains the true delight of worship.
इस अमल पर हुक्म करने की कोशिश कि वाकई वजूह
Then, upon this effort to act upon this commandment, that وَأَقِيمُوا وَجُوهَكُمْ إِنْدَ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ,
हर मस्जिद में अपनी तवज्जुहात अल्लाह ताला की तरफ
that in every mosque keep your attention fixed towards Allah the Almighty.
उनमें लोगों में शामिल करें.
This will enable you to accumulate the blessings of Allah the Almighty, and will include you amongst those who obtain this rank and status.
हर कोशिश पर अल्लाह ताला
As we are aware, upon our every effort, there is also a corresponding act of God.
अपने जोर से हासिल नहीं कर सकते.
We cannot obtain any virtue through our own efforts.
हमारे किसी अमल के साथ शामिल ना
If the act of Allah the Almighty does not support any one of our acts,
आला नताइज हासिल करने
and does not make us into those who attain the highest rewards,
वो हम नेकी हासिल नहीं कर सकते.
then we could not even obtain those virtues.
और हमारे हर मामले में नेक अमल की कोशिश वही है
Therefore, our virtuous desires and our effort to perform righteous deeds in every matter
तरफ से अल्लाह ताला
will keep our attentions fixed towards Allah the Almighty. Alongside this, the worship that will take place, and when Allah the Almighty is beseeched for help for this to be accepted, then that will become true worship.
फिर उसमें उन लोगों में शामिल होंगे
We will become enabled to be included amongst those people who are the group of وَدْعُوهُ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ.
जो दीन को उसके लिए
We will be included amongst those who, for the sake of Allah the Almighty, dedicatedly call upon Him.
करने वाले हैं.
And he who sincerely calls upon Allah the Almighty,
ये रोशन पैगाम
Allah the Almighty's illuminating message is showing them the way. That Ujibu da'wat ad-da'i idha da'an. Allah the Almighty says that I answer the prayer of the supplicant when he prays to me. The promised Messiah, on whom be peace, states,
इंसान अपने अंदर
for the acceptance of prayers, it is also essential that a person cultivates pious reformation within him. If he cannot avoid or shun vice, and he breaks the limits and boundaries of Allah the Almighty, his prayers will be completely ineffective. Therefore, to sincerely and dedicatedly call upon Allah the Almighty is deemed to be at that point when a person is mindful and safeguards all the types of boundaries and limits of God. We can learn of these boundaries and limits that are set by Allah the Almighty when we study the Holy Quran.
अहकामात तलाश करके उनको निकालते हैं.
Once we find out these commands, we then extract them.
ये वो हदूद हैं
These commands are those boundaries and those limits which, by remaining in the confines of which, he obtains the nearness to God.
कि निशान देखता है.
and he also witnesses the signs of the acceptance of his prayers. Then Allah the Almighty has stated, O children of Adam,
साथ ले जाया करो।
adorn yourself at every time and place of worship.
उसका तकवा का लिबास है।
The adornment of a worship is his garment of taqwa, of righteousness. Therefore here those boundaries that have been set down for a believer have been further explained. In one place the promised Messiah ﷺ states,
तमाम बारीक राहों पर कदम मारना है।
all the spiritual beauty of man is in his walking along the finer paths of righteousness. The finer paths of righteousness are the attractive and delightful features of spiritual beauty. It is evident that to be mindful of the trusts of God the Almighty and to fulfill all the covenants of the faith and to employ all faculties and limbs, both overt, like the eyes, the ears, the hands, the feet, and other limbs and faculties. Then there are those that are covert, such as the heart and morals, and other faculties and qualities, to utilize them on their proper occasions and to restrain them from coming into action on improper occasions, and to be warned against their subtle attacks of vice. What are the subtle attacks of the limbs and faculties? The subtle attacks is that Satan tempts and incites one to utilize them in the wrong manner, so it is to remain vigilant of this. The promised Messiah then continues that it is also to be mindful of Hukukul Abad, the rights due to mankind. This is the way of perfecting all of one's spiritual beauty. God Almighty has in the Holy Quran designated taqwa, righteousness, as a raiment. Libasul taqwa is an expression of the Holy Quran. This is an indication that spiritual beauty and spiritual ornament are achieved through taqwa, through righteousness. Righteousness means that one must be mindful even of the smallest details of the divine trusts and covenants, and also of all the trusts and covenants of one's fellow beings, as far as it may be possible. That is, one must try to fulfill to the best of one's ability all the requirements in their minutest details. That is, to the best of one's abilities and to his maximum efforts, he should act and abide by even the minutest details of the requirements. Thus, as I stated in this extract, the promised Messiah, on whom be peace, has further explained this. That first of all, you must be mindful of your covenants and your trusts. An Ahmadi has been entrusted with that trust which he has pledged to discharge for the sake of attaining the pleasure of Allah the Almighty. And that is to give precedence to the faith over worldly matters. If we continue to safeguard this trust and discharge it, then inshallah, God willing, our worship will also continue to draw us nearer to God the Almighty. We will also witness the signs of the acceptance of our prayers, inshallah. Every one of our acts will be in search for the commands of Allah the Almighty. Our entering into the mosque will be purely and only for the sake of Allah. Now the attention of the people that will be drawn to this mosque, we will also be fulfilling this right. Upon the construction of this mosque, do not be happy and satisfied just by the fact that you have built this mosque. Now, after the construction of this mosque, your responsibilities have further increased. Allah the Almighty states that adorn yourself every time you go to the mosque, the beauty of which is enhanced with righteousness. And as I stated, I have explained taqwa in light of the promised Messiah alayhi salam's reference, that it is demonstrated at that point when the rights of Allah and the rights of mankind are all fulfilled. It is when one makes an effort to elevate the standard of his worship. It is when one also safeguards his prayers. It is when the sanctity of the mosque is also regarded. Many people who request me for prayers, including those who hear during the mulaqats, meet me and request me. So thus, from the countenances of some of them, it can be deciphered that they are just saying this ceremonially or ritually. They are not in any case acting upon what they are saying, and their attention is not towards prayers. They do not give heed towards the prayers. Whenever I have asked such people, or I do ask such people, that are you offering the 5 daily prayers yourself? Then they do not answer straightforwardly, trying to avoid the question. This concept that you can request others for prayers, yet do not make any effort yourself, is an entirely erroneous concept. The purpose of the advent of the promised Messiah alayhi salam is a rejuvenation of Islam. It is to bring about a new heavens and new earth. This purpose cannot be fulfilled until the point when every single one of us, men and women, youth and elders, all tread on the path of righteousness, on the path of taqwa, and fulfill the rights of the trust of Allah the Almighty. It is only when we fulfill our pledges. If you have requested me for prayers, then also give heed towards prayers yourself. Give heed towards the salat yourself. This is precisely what the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to one of his companions, that if you desire to achieve that objective for which you are requesting prayers from me, then through your own prayers assist me, and through your own actions also. The actual purpose of divine communities is that each and every single one of them should develop a connection with God. This is why the promised Messiah alayhi salam has also stated in one place, and I have already mentioned it here in one of my sermons, that become a friend of Allah, a wali. Do not become a worshipper of the saints or the peers. In other words, each and every person should establish his connection with God. Then the community of the believers, through prayers, should help one another and should strive to fulfill each other's rights. Fulfill the right of your worship and also fulfill the right of mankind. Establish that standard of your morality which also draws the attention of others towards you. Here it also should be remembered that becoming a peer or a wali or a friend does not mean that every single person should form his own throne or domain. It is that every person should form his connection and link with God. This will only be possible when there will be a connection of loyalty and devotion with Khilafat, and one will remain attached with the Jamaat. Because the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the prophecy of the progress of that community. He gave the prophecy of the progress of those people who will remain attached to the Jamaat, to the community. So therefore always remember this point. As I stated, as a result of the construction of this mosque, the responsibilities of the Ahmadis in this area have increased. The responsibilities include that they have to fill this mosque. They have to bring that adornment to this mosque, which is an adornment in the sight of Allah. This is also your responsibility. You must also fulfill one another's rights. That also is your responsibility. You must also convey the message of the true Islam to the area. This is also your responsibility. If you continue to fulfill these rights, then most certainly the financial sacrifices and the sacrifices of time that you have made for the building of this mosque, it is hoped that inshallah most certainly will be accepted in the sight of God. May Allah the Almighty enable this to happen. And you will also witness the sight of the loving glances of God. So therefore come into this mosque with this thinking and fill it. It is mentioned in one hadith, in one tradition or saying of the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that one who frequents the mosque with a passion to worship day and night is given hospitality by God Himself. It should also be remembered that in the middle period between the prayers, it is for a believer, for a mu'min, if he maintains sincere focus to Allah the Almighty, then it is as if he is safeguarding the boundaries. He remains protected from Satan. When he enters the mosque for the next prayer, then he enters with the garment of taqwa, the garment of righteousness, which is the best adornment. So therefore, in this materialistic world, to establish this standard is the responsibility of an Ahmadi. And each and every single one of us must strive to understand this responsibility. When we comprehend this reality, when we will safeguard our worship, when we will enter into the mosques with the adornment that is liked by Allah the Almighty, it is then that we will inshallah attain the blessings and bounties of Allah the Almighty to an even greater extent than before. In the second verse, Allah the Almighty has also stated, "Kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu, innahu la yuhibbul musrifin." That eat and drink, but exceed not the bounds. Surely He does not love those who exceeds the bounds. One meaning of this is that there should be moderation in eating and drinking, and all types of halal and tayyib food should be eaten, what is permissible and wholesome, and even in that there should be moderation, because one's food intake has an effect upon one's morals and also emotions. Further, it is also the case that a person who eats excessively makes a person slack, lazy and lethargic. If a person eats a lot at night, then he sleeps so deeply that he is unable to wake up for the Fajr prayer in the morning. Then Allah the Almighty has explained elsewhere in the Holy Quran that this is a sign of the non-believers, that their attention is only focused upon eating and drinking, just as it is the sole purpose and task of animals to simply eat and drink, whereas the objective and purpose of a believer is extremely lofty. That purpose is to worship God the Almighty. Allah the Almighty has made all halal and tayyib, lawful and wholesome things for the benefit of man. However, the objective should not be the attainment of the world. Most certainly benefit can be derived. However, that should not be the objective. In fact, the aim should be to attain the pleasure of Allah. And this can be achieved only in that situation, that to derive worldly benefit, there should not be excessiveness. One should not utilize those things excessively. Do not allow them to become a hindrance in your worship. If this worldly eating and drinking become an obstacle in your worship, if worldly pleasures and delights become dominant over worship, then Allah the Almighty dislikes such extravagance. So therefore, always remember that every single thing should be done in moderation. It is then that Allah the Almighty will like it. Allah the Almighty has not stopped us from earning an income. In fact, Allah has drawn the attention of the believers that believers should work and should do so with full attention and with justice. However, if earning in the world becomes a means of forgetting or neglecting the religion, it becomes a means of distracting a person from his prayers, then this would deprive a person from the bounties and blessings of Allah. May Allah the Almighty save every single one of us from such extravagance which distances us from God the Almighty. It is a favor of Allah the Almighty that the majority of the Jamaat understands these responsibilities. and as I said with reference to financial sacrifices, make great sacrifices. They understand the spirit of financial sacrifices. They do not only spend on their own persons. However, as I have stated many a times and expressed this concern, that there is a need to give heed to constantly and perpetually filling these mosques with this same passion. As I stated, that the mosque you have constructed is very beautiful. There is a minara and dome from the outside which look brilliant. The covered area of the mosque also, with the grace of the Almighty Allah, is very large. I have mentioned the hall earlier. There is an existing hall which has been renovated and now looks very beautiful. Now here, combining the hall, it is said that there is room for 1,000 worshippers to offer their prayers. At the present time, I believe that there are 500 or 600 people here. In this sense, there is a lot more room and space for more worshippers. This mosque may appear large to you. Today, there are people who have also come from Sydney and other places. This is why the mosque is filled. However, if only the local Ahmadis were in this mosque, then some parts of the mosque may appear empty. Nonetheless, it is my prayer that this number increases, and that this mosque is filled with local people and becomes too small. However, our true happiness will be not when the mosque is filled with Pakistanis, but rather that it is filled with local residents, and this increases the numbers of worshippers in the mosque. However, this desire and task cannot be fulfilled without tabligh, without preaching. Thus increase the effort of preaching and also your prayers and supplications. Your efforts should increase and you should also have attention towards prayers. May Allah the Almighty make it so that this mosque rapidly becomes too small and that we continuously build more mosques. This mosque in this area is not your ultimate objective. In fact, it is only your first step. The promised Messiah ﷺ, on whom be peace, also stated that through a mosque, Islam is introduced, and it draws the attention of people towards Islam. May Allah the Almighty make it so that amongst the local people, that they are rapidly drawn in this direction. Inshallah, God willing, it is hoped that this will happen. Wherever our mosques have been built around the world, the introduction of Islam has increased manifold. In this respect also, and I have said this before, that understand your responsibilities. That as a result of this introduction, people will look at you to a greater degree than before. Those of you who have come from Pakistan have come for the reason that you could not worship freely in the mosques there. You have come here because over there you could not freely call yourselves Muslims. Ahmadis were not allowed to express and demonstrate themselves as Muslims there. So therefore here, by making an effort to attain this objective and purpose, become those who achieve the loving glances of Allah the Almighty. This is so that you can convey the beautiful message of Islam to the people. The majority of you did not come here out of any quality of your own. In fact, as I stated, you have come here as a result of the opposition to Ahmadiyyat in Pakistan. Therefore, you need to also bring about a realization in your children and progeny that we will be able to show gratitude to Allah the Almighty at that point when we give attention towards filling the mosques, when we fulfill the rights of the mosque, and when we give attention towards tabligh, towards preaching. Today also, some case or the other every single day is lodged against Ahmadis. And there are some very farcical cases. I was looking over such a case just a few days ago in my mail. An FIR, a first incident report, was lodged in a village by two persons. They said that we saw a minara and I could see a dome. I went close to there and I learned that this mosque is of the Qadianis. My feelings were hurt, he said. He started his account as if he was a traveler. He says that I remained in search for 4 days of who built this mosque. Then I came to know that there are 8 people here who offer the prayers. I explained to them to take down the minara and the dome. They did not listen and my feelings were hurt. So therefore I have lodged a case. So this is the state of affairs in Pakistan. Such circumstances are even developing in small villages. People are living in such conditions there. Many of you also came here after living in such conditions over there. So thus never forget these conditions. Always remember such situations and fulfill the rights of your mosques. May Allah the Almighty enable everyone to achieve this.
Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر